Seconds to go. Camille mid. Going to be locked away for Faker. He's been playing a heck of a lot of it. Of course, I know many of us watch Faker's stream. He has certainly been playing a lot of it. In fact, it was the first I saw of this Korean pick before it was picked here in the LCK.
The SK Telecom.
Okay, no, but Khan could be piloting it topside. Interesting. Maybe
we'll have to wait 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So the SKT team composition is definitely a lot more aggressive. If it falls behind, though, no legs to stand on.
Yeah.
So definitely not very traditional SK Telecom drafting. SANDBOX, once again, they have very long range. They have a lot of poke. And they have the mid-rangey kind of front line inside of the Xinjiao that is definitely a nuisance for several of the members on the side of SKT. So this is definitely scary. Clid has to get the ball rolling early on. And if SKT fall behind or they roll really bad dragons, it becomes a nightmare scenario because they're going to need Baron to close.
They will. However, Clid is on the Elise. This is a champion that he has had a lot of success on and does have so much strength in the early stages of the game. And something that SKT have always had, it's the ability to ward the map. Now, with Martyr out of the roster and Effort now in, will they have the same level of vision control? We'll have to find out as we move into game number 2. A lot of people have been calling to see Effort one more time. There's going to be a lot on his shoulders to live up to the expectations of these SKT fans. Because I know, I mean, a lot of us just want to have some change, want to see SKT adapt and move forward. Here in the summer meta, they haven't quite been able to catch up on just yet, as much as a lot of our other teams, such as Kingzone, Afreeca, and SANDBOX as well, that they're trying to deal with now.
We're about to jump into the game. Let's hear from the fans how they're feeling.
Well, there are some really passionate SANDBOX fans, but there are just a hell of a lot of SKT fans here at LoL Park.
That's a very interesting thing, Atlas, but I got to talk to you about the stars in that sky. What do you think that is?
The LCK logo.
No. They planets or what?
No, there's stars. There's suns.
They are just suns.
Yeah, they got to be. That's what suns are.
All right, you know what?
Sorry, stars are. Are you trying to bait me into talking about flat Earth? Is that what you're trying to do?
You caught me.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. G-Sun almost thought I was a flat earther today. I don't want to go back there.
She had a NASA shirt on today.
Yeah. Not that I have anything against people having different opinions. Just that's a wrong one, is Dove. Okay. That worked ground. Unfortunately, was stepped back in on. So we only got a little bit to try and take down Faker there.
This is tragic.
Oh, no.
The great bait.
But both of them. I mean, Clid's sitting on a ward, while SANDBOX are both sitting on wards. OnFleek had a sweeper. He has a sweeper active right now.
Uh-oh. Oh, I thought he was going to go all the way around the left-hand side. But without a ward inside of this brush, it can definitely get a little bit dangerous.
And also, Clid's got volatile spiderling, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have it in order to start off in the jungle, because otherwise it's just too long to clear, and therefore he has to. It doesn't have anything to stop OnFleek from just killing it with his Hail of Blades Zins out. So it's just an easy steal to come in from the SANDBOX jungler. He's going to go red to red, guarantee the 3-buff start, which is what you can do on the Xinjiao. See how Clid is going to be able to deal with this.
Clid's actually just starting solo on the blue side jungle, which is definitely going to be very rough because you can't transition into a bottom gank. And even if they know where Xinjiao is right now, he actually paths and mirrors back the same side of the map movement that Clid does. And so it becomes really awkward for him to do anything. And remember, the onus is on SKT to get the ball rolling, even though they have so many scaling champions.
Yeah, this is the problem that we had when we were talking about. I think it was Kingzone versus someone, and they were the team that had the Sona. And despite all of the scaling on the opposite side, it just straight up didn't matter. Because Sona just scales even harder as Faker lands the hookshot onto Dove. He now has to just walk away, gets the second application of the E, and now Dove trying to turn it around, using the range advantage, using the minions. As it is an even trade in the end, Dove is ahead in farm.
And the other thing to note is Faker, he still has his cookie. It's very important.
That is true. That is true. Dove, though, can surf back to lane.
Yeah. So with everything that has transpired thus far, Xinjiao definitely making out a little bit better than Clid. Infernal Dragon, super heavy priority for both of these teams.
You see Joker's actually gone for the Guardian this time around on the Tahm Kench as well, not wanting to go for any of those spellbook shenanigans to get extra smites here. Just wants to be able to survive in this lane and do as well as possible. Have a bit of extra farm. As you can see, he's only one behind Teddy. Feeling pretty good on this Tahm Kench at this point in time. He's got Cleanse, Teleport here on Ghost. So still feeling confident enough to take that on the Sona. First day out here for Ghost on the Sona as well. So Ghost has always been a pretty good, awesome dude player for SANDBOX. SANDBOX had some pretty creative drafts in spring and during the awesome dude meta.
And it's a very different type of champion to pilot for some certain ADCs, so not surprising that not everyone's just picking it up immediately and piloting it to great success.
Yeah.
She's a great champion. I really like Sona.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. No sarcasm.
We talked about this before.
Yeah, no
Absolutely.
I agree. I think she's fantastic. I like Silent Night Sona. Discuss. DJ is picked up here, though, for Ghost. See exactly what kind of tunes he's pumping out. I actually find it a little bit sad that we don't get to join in on whatever Sona's playing.
Yeah, that is
default music for us right now. It's Dove. Gonna get stunned. That's an immediate cleanse, understanding that the Elise was in the area, good vision available, but also had walked over the lane. Dove just slightly out of position, means that he has to blow that summoner spell, but crucially, not his flash.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that Clid doesn't go flash for flash there, just to get the flash off of Dove, because then once Camille has level 6, it's so easy to set everything up.
Maybe scared of OnFleek finding him in the jungle.
Yeah, they don't have deeper vision, and so if OnFleek is there, then yes, it does turn into potentially a nightmare scenario if Dove delays his flash and baits Clid in, but nonetheless, so far here in game number 2, SANDBOX has a little bit of a gold advantage.
Ghost pops up just to get a ward over into that Dragon Pit, understanding that it is an Infernal Drake this time around. And pretty high priority on the Dragon list. See how Ghost is going when it comes to stacking up his Frostfang. Teleport back here for Effort, who does have a Spellbook. And SKT will have a lot of power pushing in. A lot of priority here on the bottom side, looking for that first plate, as Ghost takes a whole bunch of his health bar in damage. W is going to be there. He should be A-OK, but you can see he's not exactly getting a lot of value out of his Kleptomancy or that Frostfang. Looking at the money is a slight advantage, but the big one is the fact that Joker has so much money in comparison to Effort.
And so now, the junglers are going to be on opposite sides of the map, and this could mean that an Infernal Capture could come up for OnFleek. He has the items necessary to actually solo it.
Okay, Ghost is going to get dived on. Song of Celerity gets him out of the way. That's the Boomerang Blade from Teddy, but Ghost only gets hit by one portion of that damage. Nothing actually used on the side of SKT's bottom lane, and that was just 2 versus 1, and Ghost having to flash under his own turret.
And he's playing really safe, even giving up some of the CS, because he doesn't have total intel on where Elise is, I believe. So, just respecting SKT, not wanting to throw away any advantages. Even if you fall behind a little bit on Sona, it's perfectly okay.
Yeah, well, OnFleek's going to come down and see whether he can get rid of a flash or 2 from Effort and Teddy. Winter's Bite is going to be available here for Effort, though, so it'll be hard for OnFleek to close that distance. However, moving a little bit further over to the side than you'd otherwise want. Here for SKT is Clid doesn't find the cocoon onto Dove in the mid lane. Very close to having that cleanse button back available again, so Clid feeling some pressure to make something happen. Okay, Ghost finally getting some money from this Kleptomancy, trying to get some more work done on the quest completion as well. We did have a Sona that completed the quest 7 minutes into the game. I believe that was Deft. That was some really silly quest completion timings. Not going to be happening this time around, though, for Ghost. He hasn't been able to get the auto attacks that he's wanted. Joker does have a fully completed support item, though. This is a very rich Tankens.
Now, it does look like Teddy and Effort are looking for a recall, but the sustain offered by Sona is...
Double Fairy Charm in there as well, so going to be getting that mana back relatively effectively. Level 6 available for both of these bottom laners as OnFleek moves on in again.
And if you're Clip right now and you end up pathing into bottom lane and Teddy is forced to recall, it doesn't feel that good because then you become pressured to make a gank appear from the right-hand side, and that's just not going to be that good. Also, Scuttlecrab left-hand side as well, so Clip is having to path in a very unfortunate direction, which is not going to be the best situation in the world unless somehow Effort and Teddy can manipulate Joker and Ghost into believing.
Okay, Hextech Ultimatum down in the mid lane. Faker trying to keep Dove there. Uses Seismic Shove just basically as a way to try and zone. Does have to flash, does get out. Faker's going to win that one. Glacial Fissure down, that's a dead Sona. First Blood going over to Clit as Teddy trying to tank up this turret. They can see Joker is so easy to take down, and Clit grabs his second. Effort is going to heal, but that's just to make sure that SKT secure everything they want.
And this is a really, really big pickup right there. Faker getting the flash out of Dove in mid lane and also drawing OnFleek towards the mid side of the map. Clid able to convert his path into the right-hand side into a gank because the enemy jungler can't be there then at that point. He was drawn mid lane. They're able to pick up the kill onto Ghost and Joker, and they convert it into an Infernal Drake capture.
Just huge. OnFleek's going to allow that Rift Scuttler to burn down, but Shelly should actually come in here even though it's under the noses of SKT. They went for that reset immediately after the Drake. As Dove gets back here into the mid lane. Didn't actually fall down, remember, in that last exchange. The bottom lane for SANDBOX, not so lucky. So
another Infernal Drake is spawned. We got some fire in this game number 2.
It went last time, what was it? Infernal into Ocean, Cloud.
Yeah.
Cloud.
Yeah.
That was
absolutely
not so interesting. But now at least we've got one apiece. Shelly does go down. OnFleek's going to pick that one up comfortably. Meanwhile, we look at bottom side of the map. It's SANDBOX going for a bit of a switcheroo. As Teddy's still on the bottom side, but teleport in hand. They will have the ability to maneuver this Sivir across the map.
They're definitely looking to try to get some proactivity going on with this lane swap. And it doesn't look like SK Telecom are reacting to it as clean as they could. Teddy a little bit slow to push the wave, but he should be able to convert into plates. Instead, he's backing up. Yeah, you can see he's being very cautious as he doesn't have confirmation of what's going on. Look at how careful he's being. Captain careful down there.
Yeah, exactly. Just hanging out. Can't see where OnFleek is. Now he knows that there are 4 members topside. You can see all 5 members of SANDBOX here as he moves back down to this outer turret bot side. Shelly's going to charge on forward. It's 3 versus 4, and we've got a lot of poke available for SANDBOX. You see Summit, you can just throw out those EQs off cooldown, as that's 3 plates that are going to go down. Now Faker not going to get hit by the Seismic Shove.
Oh, they kept the final plate alive for the time being.
Feels like a matter of time before that goes down, but you're right. I think the first turret going to go over to SKT here, so trading up and retaining some control in this map.
Oh, no.
That's a whoopsie. Summit is going to get in there. Hammer form, extra movement speed is good. Can you actually get to the skies? And the answer is no. Teddy, enough movement speed with the ultimate. He gets out.
Does get the Sivir ultimate out of her, but at the end of the day, it's still a huge victory for SK Telecom. And so now, Elise, everyone, they get to basically reset temporarily. It's going to be the teleport coming into top lane. Now, will Elise path there immediately after red? That's the big question. You have to know that you're likely going to be warded up. And so if they're trying to make a proactive play, it would be to attempt to draw attention to SANDBOX's top lane to lure them away from the right side of the map in preparation for the upcoming Infernal and just create a lot of pressure. There's also still plates to capture with a minute remaining.
Yeah. Only 13 on the clock as it stands. 2 minutes until the next Infernal is available. So 15 minutes on the clock for that one. Likely that SANDBOX will not let that one go without a fight. Checking in on items. Archangels is done here for Khan. Still on the way for Ghost. The Essence Reaver is there though. Hook shot. Not enough range as Dove looks before. The seismic shove, that could have been very dangerous. Speaking of which, Ghost going down to below 200 health, top side. Now Joker just tries to clean this up as best as possible and is going to be successful. As SKT, they just have a lot of pressure. Haven't been able to get too many more kills after that first bottom side dive, but this is way more proactive than what we saw out of the SKT in game number 1.
Looks like Ghost is going to commit his teleport to top lane. He wants to hold on to these last turrets, and it looks like SK Telecom, they're going to recall effort. He's running back top lane, even though Infernal's coming up in a minute. Very surprised that they don't just concede. Top tier 1 turret, rotate the Sivir and the Braum into the Infernal Dragon, capture it, and then plant them back down in bottom lane. Move your Rise to the top lane. He can start freezing in front of top tier 2. And then you just scale with your double Infernal Drake temporarily, item completions, take a team fight around 3rd Dragon.
Yep, that seems what I would assume. And Effort also seems to have the summoner spells for that School of Thought also, as the Heal Ignite has come in, looking for some more battle stats to take into a potential fight, as Ghost is really struggling to last hit these creeps underneath the turret. Eventually figures it out for the last few caster creeps. He's completed his quest so far, so can now start trying to farm, but at the moment, he's 100 CS in the hole after the Frostmancy completion, and that's bad. That's not going to get you enough money, I don't think.
Well, we'll see what ends up happening here, as this dragon is super, super big for both of these teams.
SANDBOX are the first to get to the play, though. As you can see, Summit, he's dealing with a minion wave towards an inner turret, but we'll be able to get that one pushed out. Equalized waves. Bottom side of the map, Faker's up towards the top side, teleport in hand, however.
SANDBOX have all the priority, but teleport available on Faker. Summit's here as well. That's a big chunk onto Clid.
Yeah, it's a huge shock blast. Clid, I don't know whether he can actually get in here. Cocoon is going to land, but it's only under the Tom Kench. Ultimate flies forward from Effort. Look at the AoE into this pit. Goes so low, flashes over the wall, but Faker denies anything. He's going to go down before Joker even falls. And now, over the wall, not enough, as the audacious charge a little bit too late to come off cooldown. Summit dives on top of Clid, immediately transitions over to Effort, who flashes, gets back over the wall, and that's why we subbed this man in. The young man mechanics from the SKT Summit support. Not so much for Clid there, as Summit just dives on him. A really exciting team fight on both sides. I'm not entirely sure who won.
They gotta be a little bit careful. This is a Jace. He can definitely blow you to pieces. If he gets an execute, that's a really big thing, but Braum should be able to get the Experience. Oh, never mind, he wasn't moving.
Yeah, not gonna happen. He was actually waiting for an item. That's a whoopsie. Probably wasn't gonna be able to catch up anyway, so that is certainly good news.
Let's take a look at this.
But yeah, let's have a look at it one more time.
The Cocoon hits onto Tom Kench, and Joker gets chunked so heavy. Summit in the back, able to do so much damage to Faker, but Hextech Ultimatum comes out. Eventually, Joker's actually saved, but on Fleek, he was locked up inside of the Dragon Pit. Had he been able to go over the wall a lot sooner, this would have been a lot cleaner for SANDBOX. Summit trying to be basically Superman. He was almost able to get effort right there. Chase nerf, am I right? Thanks, Jack. All right, so right there, Elise ends up getting cleaned up right at the end.
Yeah, I was biting off a little more than she can chew. As, yeah, you were talking about Jace nerfs. Can we have some more? Please, sir.
You know, I was against the Jace nerfs.
You were?
I was. I feel like a Jace is very akin to Azir or Lee Sin or champions like that few players can really pilot.
Get the most out of.
To get the most out of. Not everyone is capable of actually playing Jace.
Yep. There's a lot of champions like that. Ryze is another example of a champion that doesn't have a high solo queue win rate because you have to have sunk a few games into that champion and be pretty skilled in order to make things work. Effort moves on over, lands his Winter's Fight, but otherwise not too much to happen as Khan turns up on the bottom side. Dove can't thread the volleys. SKT wander out unscathed. Top lane outer turrets is still standing. And that bottom lane bottom lane outer is all that's fallen in favor of SKT. Weaver's Wall comes in. SANDBOX starting another fight, but Unbreakable exists. That old interaction, denying the wall.
I really gotta say, every time Sona presses the button and that little tune comes out, that sounds really good. Yeah, it sounds really nice.
Yeah, DJ Sona's a great skin, man.
They need to use that tune to make another type of song. You know?
It's in her songs.
They need to make it a full song.
It is. They are full. She has 3 different full songs. You didn't know that?
No, I mean like an actual pop song, like the KDA songs.
Oh, right, like the KDA songs. Okay.
Follow along.
I don't understand. Like, do you need lyrics to have an act? Is that what an actual song means to you?
Yeah, no, I mean, like
I'm
a
pretty
produced...
sure like a song is just like
Okay.
something with a melody, right?
You know
like,
what?
We want to be pedantic.
Love
Okay. SKT shoving into the mid lane. This is going to be below half health for the outer, but Teddy's unable to stick around to finish that one off. Faker though, pressure elsewhere on the map as this top lane outer turret is certainly going to die.
So the really scary thing here is SKT, they have a lot of one-shot potential in some of their champions if they can land a Rune Prison onto Sona, or any of the members for that matter, or a Camille ultimate, an Elise Cocoon. That's what their team composition is going to end up being degraded to as this game draws
Crescendo
on.
lands into the mid lane. Teddy does have a
dead.
spell shield, but not enough. Ghost is going to survive as well as Summit turns up in the nick of time. It's the Tahm Kench that grabs the kill. I'm excited about that. Thomas deserves everything that he can get. 3,000 gold, still the lead for SKT, but now a man advantage on the Rift for SANDBOX.
Mountain Drake coming up in 50 seconds, and we always talk about how great that is for Sona team compositions. It makes it so easy to do the Baron, which is typically sometimes one of the weaknesses of Sona team comps.
Interested in what this Forbidden Idol is going to turn into, as there's the Weaver's Wall just to get SKT out of the way, but Effort was there standing ready. That's a great seismic shove as Effort is going to die. Underneath the turret, Teddy teleports back in. The minion wave was dealt with earlier, but that's another quick pick. And Summit, so much time bought for him to push underneath this turret. Faker now looking to try and get him, but he's just so quick. Hextech Ultimatum, no opportunity to even use it, as OnFleek was already there.
Yeah, and Summit just got so much value, and the gold lead is now dissipating. SANDBOX, they're in position to get the next Mountain Drake.
Yeah, this is once again SANDBOX just playing better as a team in this mid game. This is SANDBOX's time though. This is when SANDBOX plays their best League of Legends, is when they can get out of the laning phase and start moving around with their power, start really flexing their muscles on the Rift when there are still outer turrets, things like that still available, and the game hasn't been controlled. Cleared once again, powered shock blast to the face. SKT are by no means out of this, but they do need to show us that they've grown, that they've changed, they have fixed up their playstyle. Okay.
A lot of damage onto Ghost, but he has teleport.
He does. And Seraph Embrace is also just transformed, so we'll now have that one available. Forbidden Idol is there. I wonder what that's going to turn into. As he goes back home, he might let us know.
Maybe it just goes Redemption.
Yeah. Hardened Sensor could come in as well if he wants to. Would benefit OnFleek and Summit a hell of a lot, actually, if he picks that one up and you have it in an AoE as your W gets used. In fact, she's a disgusting Hardened Sensor abuser. But it's just not necessarily
that was
the
a beautiful crescendo.
It was. And hiding the animation behind the turret as well. Absolutely fantastic.
It's really, really, really nice play by Ghost.
I didn't actually see. I saw the animation of the ultimate come out, but not her do a wind-up, which is a lot of what gives you the idea. Tower falls down, though, as SKT are able to brute force that one. War of attrition successful here for SKT, getting control of that outer turret mid lane. Faker moving on over to try and steal a blue buff, but it's
Ardent
dangerous.
Sensor. Yeah, it is completed now for Sona, which means this is a massive spike right now for SANDBOX if they were to team fight. But if they just wait a little bit longer, they're going to have the Sterix, they're going to have the Black Cleaver on the Jace as well. And so there's no... Oh, man, are they going to go for a Baron bait?
In a Baron pit is actually a hell of a lot of extra on-hit damage.
Holy!
Look at this thing melt. Infernal Drake and Mountain. It's down to half health as SKT. They're realm warping over Dove. His wall gets completely built. Effort can't get over. The Baron is going to get taken down. But no, it's going to be a 50-50. Oh, Clint! Just going to take it down. Joker, remember, did not have the smite. That is going to be secured by the Tahm Kench regardless. And SANDBOX have done it again. 20 minutes on the clock, and they just steal a Baron.
They just stole it right under their noses. The Mountain Dragon coming into effect right there as well. Surely helping them get everything sped up. And now, SKT, they have Ryzen Sivir. They're not horrible at resisting Baron. They are, though, at 22.5 minutes. The champions don't have the items.
Okay, Joker, Grey Health's going to be eaten very early. Seismic Shove moves over to the side. Ghost is doing so much damage now, though.
Yeah.
You saw that Q landing on two members of SKT. Crazy damage coming in here as SANDBOX finally get themselves into a gold lead scenario. 1.7 thousand. I want to applaud that Baron one more time. Just the idea of going for this at this time. was so smart.
In theory, SK Telecom should have been able to react to this a little bit better, actually utilizing the Rise ultimate to try to position some of the members over if they were going to actually go for a fight at the Baron pit. But it was so intelligent and quick and decisive of SANDBOX to initiate that play. And you can see there's a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah, coaching staff, it seems to be something that they have actually done in scrims. You know, I love that they go straight to the Baron pit as soon as that Ardent Sensor is finished. That comes in, they understand that now, with OnFleek on the Xin Zhao and the Jace there on the roster, they just do so much single target damage. Not to mention, Taliyah being one of the highest single target sort of PvE mages anyway. Really, really cool stuff. I love to see this sort of innovation here, and SANDBOX have done it so many different times so far.
What a spicy game we have on our hands. Another Infernal Dragon.
Yeah, and also, this is a game that has been moving much more quickly than that of game number 1. Seismic Shove comes in. That's a high-value shock blast there from Summit. As just brute force in a turret, no answer from SKT at this stage. You have a feeling that they will be trying to defend these inhibitor turrets as Faker off to the side, wants to find that flank, wants to find that ultimate. But that's just an inhibitor turret dead. SKT needs to pull a trigger of some kind sooner rather than later.
They need to just wait. Right now, Baron is going to dissipate in about a minute. They can get priority to the Infernal, which is looking like what Faker and Connor trying to do. Baron recall going to come in. They're going to beeline straight to the Infernal. A little bit too late there.
Okay, yeah.
But top inhibitor, not the end of the world. It's the closest Baron, or the closest inhibitor to Baron, which means that your carry is always going to be in close proximity to it. So that's why it's considered the worst one until Elder Dragon starts becoming an actual threat in the later stages of the game. Then it can be argued that it's the best one to have, depending on what the map state is, the team comps items, yada, yada, yada. And from here, if SK Telecom just allow this Infernal Dragon to be taken, it's a pretty unfortunate spot. I like what SANDBOX are doing. They're clearing out all the vision surrounding the Infernal, because they can also use this as a or they can use it as a way to fork SKT. I'm always careful with that one.
Now, the thing
into a team fight.
The thing that I like about this, though, is they can now play around bot side, which is not theoretically what you should be doing at this stage of the game, because Baron is so valuable until the Elder Drake is on the map. But with that top inhibitor down, they can use it like the bottom inhibitor down around a Baron. They just do it around an Infernal Drake instead. Guarantee that one. Double Infernal and a Mountain here for the squad that has the Sona and now a 3,000 gold lead. That's very scary for SKT fans, staring down the barrel of a 2-0 for SANDBOX.
He got 16 AD. It's a long sword and a half. I was checking that out.
Oh yeah? Who did?
Xin Zhao.
All right.
And he's not even the one building attack damage. So imagine what Jace and Taliyah and whatnot are getting in terms of value out of the Dragon.
Not to mention the fact that Dove and Ghost will have some pretty cool hats coming up pretty soon.
That needs to be a stat. They need to have, you know how your champions have the little
the dragon bonus
it needs to tell you what you're getting.
Yeah. I don't know whether everyone's as passionate about it as you are, but I would like it. I think it sounds good, yeah.
Twitch chat would like it. YouTube chat would like it. Come on.
Okay, guys. Sound off. Would you like it? I think the stream needs to catch back up.
The stream's going to catch back up.
Me too.
It's all right.
I would like it. Yeah, we got a few.
Yeah, we got quite a bit.
A bit of positivity here. Yeah, lots of yeses. All right.
Fantastic.
Make it happen. Make it happen, chat.
Riot. Yeah, make it happen, chat. There you go.
That needs to be a hashtag. Make it happen, chat. Okay, SANDBOX. What they're making happen is darkness for SKT in their own jungle. And Drake fell down very, very simply. Now the Baron is available in 50 seconds. Teddy just completed his Infinity Edge. We've got a Frozen Heart on Khan, trying to tank as much as possible. Seismic Shove comes in, Effort trying to keep himself alive. Seismic Shove not, of course, finding anything. As top side, we've got Super Creeps getting a lot of work done, but bottom side, Faker on his own.
He's going to get a turret, he's going to get a lot of solo XP, as well as gold.
But is anyone actually going to go back for this? It looks like Summit is heading down. I think he's on a ward, but is able to get home in time. 20 seconds now, though. As
look at the XP
is there.
Between the two teams. SK Telecom's champions, Faker's ahead a level. The junglers are actually tied.
Teddy's
Khan is
2
down.
levels ahead.
Teddy's 2 levels ahead. This is something that can happen.
Oh,
okay.
Clid caught out of position. Doesn't go down immediately, but eventually he's just taken before any response can be made. Khan flashes defensively. SANDBOX with their Sona composition, 5 members all together. And Faker, he had to go back. Clid now, no jungler on the map. That should be a pretty free Baron here for SANDBOX unless SKT can make something heroic happen.
They're going to need to pull a miracle.
Yeah, Seismic Shove's going to go wide. They are turning. Half health bar onto Khan. Lots of low health bars. In fact, Faker, the healthiest member of SKT. You can see this Baron is melting at the hands of SANDBOX. And SKT realize there is no way they can do anything about it. Minions crashing towards the top side. These Nexus turrets under fire. A free reset now for SANDBOX, and this is so much control. 4,000 gold the lead, but it just feels like more.
It feels like so much more. A double Infernal is definitely giving so much gold in terms of stats. Line, right? And then in addition to that, the Sona, the scaling, we talk about it all the time.
It's mostly levels here for Sona. I think that level 16 is like super huge, so her being behind there was good for SKT, but just not having the vision. They needed to try and get someone in there to get vision down, but just unfortunate that it was Clid that fell down.
Yeah. Clid fell super early on, and they're just not able to stabilize the game.
Yeah, and that's what SKT in the past has been so incredibly good at. That was their MO, but it just feels like this meta, that is not the way you're supposed to play. It's not about stabilizing your opponent's decisions. It's about making your own. You gotta make your own destiny here. It's not like someone's going to decide it for you, like it has been in the past for League of Legends.
SKT does get a little bit of a breather with the Ocean Dragon coming up. That will slow down SANDBOX, provided that SKT can actually manage to live and endure this Baron push, which, as I mentioned before, Ryze and Sivir are okay at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Faker's looking for the all-in. There's the ultimatum. That's immediately the Devour from Joker to keep that Sona alive. About half health now as the crescendo is to follow up. They went for the YOLO play, but it straight up didn't work. Everyone dying. Teddy, the last man standing. It might be a quadra kill for Summit as Sona ends up falling down off the back end. Teddy does need to be respected.
It's always Teddy at the end.
Yep. On Fleek going to go down very, very low. In fact, his GA has been popped as Dove turns up, misses another ability. Come on, SANDBOX. Let's take some turrets and not press our advantage too far.
Yeah.
15 seconds on Clid and effort. As Teddy does have so much wave clear, now looking to 1v4. He is going to get taken down to his GA, and the Nexus turrets are going to erupt. Teddy gets one more, but it's Joker on Fleek and Dove, and they should have enough damage to take down this Nexus at 31 minutes. The Weaver's Wall comes in to try and help it out, but no, the last auto attack will do it. 32 minutes on the clock, and SANDBOX 2-0 SKT.
And that was a really weird team fight at the end where Faker went in. Teddy was out of mana completely on the Sivir, which was really interesting because they had the breathing room coming their way with the Ocean Dragon, which means the Elder wouldn't come up for quite a while. They had a couple more minutes inside of them, and even if you lose bottom inhibitor and top inhibitor,